Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with another episode of Challenge Accepted. And this week, Shannon Allor and I are taking on the main challenge at Mercy Tiara's 27-day Scrappy Challenge. And that challenge is extremely simple, but extremely difficult. The simplicity is in the stating of it. You take the supply that you have the most of and the supply you have the least of and use them both on a layout. Okay, so simple enough. The supply I have the most of is paper. I think that's probably true for everyone. So what I decided to do was add to that my own challenge in that I'm using papers from different lines, papers that I've hoarded, most of them older, and using them with newer, with embellishments from newer lines, and just kind of seeing where that takes me. And it was kind of hard selecting them. One of my favorite papers of all time is, or lines of all time, is this winter line called Sleigh Ride from Bo Bunny. And this is my all-time favorite wood grain paper ever in the history of wood grain papers. There are little snowflakes all over it. It's just wonderful. Well, on this side of it, there's this snowdrift and these trees, and then there were these trees that I fussy cut out of there, and I'm going to use on my layout, whether they make sense or not. The premise is that we bought Reese a bed today, and it's to keep her warm. We've had some cool nights, and her room gets a little bit cool in the evenings, so we wanted a really plush, snuggly bed. And so it's kind of sort of a wintry theme that I'm going for here, but we're going to have butterflies, so it could also be spring. Who knows? The supply I have the least of, and I had to kind of reach for this one, because if you start talking about wood veneer, I have a lot. If you talk about washi tape, I have lots. Ephemera, too much. Stickers, too much. But I've been hoarding this, I think it's Fancy Pants or Bo Bunny. May actually be Bo Bunny from that same Sleigh Ride line, but it's one of the winter lines. It's actually a film strip that has some images that you can see through onto the paper. It's self-adhesive, although I have used it in the past where I wanted it not to be stuck down, where I kind of stapled it. So I'm going to kind of wait and see where my imagination takes me on this. But I have these two pieces of it. I have one other precious piece saved. I may only use the one. We'll kind of see how it fits in. I also have one of my favorite lines ever, and you're probably surprised because these are not my standard colors. It's My Mind's Eye, Follow Your Heart, and there are some really beautiful images on it. I love this kind of pastel. There are some grays and pinks, and all of these papers actually are coming from my Counterfeit Kit Club kit for November, as closely as I could from my own stash match the inspiration kit, which had lots of grays and muted pinks, and the grays ranged from bluish grays to brownish grays. And another paper I have is one of my hoarded papers, kind of one of my older papers, is from Basic Gray Fruitcake. It's a Christmas paper, and you can see the Christmas over on this side, but what I love is the mixed media look over on this side. So I've kind of cut that strip. I've got this kind of gray and white pattern that came from a paper pad. I don't know it. I don't know what it is. I've got another strip of this A side of the Follow Your Heart, and then I've got this block of the B side, that beautiful stripe. I have matted the photo in white and then this gray kind of chain link fence print. Let me put these things aside. I've fussy cut from the Follow Your Heart paper. It was on this side of the paper, up in the top corner. It's kind of an homemade, its own embellishment cluster, and I've got it on foam. I'm gonna layer it with some other things. I've got some ephemera and some fussy cut houses from the Paisley Auburn Lane collection. I've also got some flowers from that same collection, and I've got some butterflies from Jen Hadfield's Homemade. So we'll kind of see where those things lead. What I like about the butterflies is there's an acrylic top part that you can kind of bend, and an acrylic bottom, a solid acrylic bottom part, and that kind of balances the shiny that I'm going to introduce when I put these film strips on. Okay, so I have in mind, since I'm going to busy it up with so many embellishments, I have in mind that the base is going to be fairly simple. I'm not going to have a lot of angle changes or anything like that. I'm just going to kind of mount this here. I know that this is going to come down to here, and I kind of want it to join, and I'll probably do something down in this area. What I haven't decided is whether I want the trees to go. I don't want it to go all the way over here because it then erases the part of that paper that I love. So what I'm not sure of is whether I'm going to do it this way and have the snowdrift on this baseline or something else. So I'm going to, instead of laying these on top, I'm going to kind of slide them underneath and let them look like underneath layers. And they're neutral enough that I think they're gonna look fine. I've got this piece, let me kind of, again, place that before I work with that. This is good, and then that would let the trees kind of overlap. I can move the trees here so that that part still shows. I've got the photo here, and I can let it kind of come out this way. Okay, I like that. So let's get this down. I'll figure that out. Okay, don't want it at an angle. I'd kind of like it straight, lined up there. Let me get some adhesive on here, and I'm going to put this down here where it overlaps onto there. I've got my photo coming out probably here, so I may use some embellishment. Okay, I kind of like it breaking this line, but then it interferes with that. So I'm going to bring it back down here. Do I want it there? No, I think I want it up here. And I'll put something there so that you don't see that the mat matches that underlayer of paper. There's never a mistake that an embellishment can't cover up. So that's my scrapbooking philosophy. Okay, let me get this attached up here. I added some dimension here so that it wouldn't look like it's printed on the paper, which it was on the paper that it came on. So I'm kind of trying to get away from that. So I'm curling this fishtail banner and these little stitch parts and the parts that are supposed to look kind of stamped on there. I have this gray house that I suppose I could mount down here with on the snowdrift and overlapping the trees. I kind of like that, but I need to put this foam over on this far side so that it adheres. I can make up for the difference in elevation there. Okay, that's good. I thought I would cover up, I tried a couple different pieces of ephemera from the Auburn Lane kit. Kind of thought about doing this. This one was too big, this one was too maroon, and it just kind of clashed. This rose also clashes with the rose here, but not so much that it bothers me and I run screaming it doesn't match. So here's kind of what I'm gonna do there, and then I'll maybe plug in, let's go with a butterfly that is more similarly colored to the rose that's printed on the paper there. So I'm going to kind of raise that up and put it there. And that kind of bridges that gap and gives you kind of a trio of the two flowers and the one butterfly. The other way that I could have gone was to use the teal colored butterfly, and I when I was laying it out, I kind of thought about that. I will use a teal butterfly somewhere else, but okay, I've got a couple more houses that I planned to use. I have these, let me see. I've got this double set of houses, but I don't want to raise them both up to the same level. I've got this one on a single piece of foam, this one on two pieces of foam. So I'll kind of do that. I'll do I think I want to do them down here more like the in the line with this other little house. They don't have to be absolutely in line. That kind of allows for some elevation changes in the neighborhood, right? This might be nice, kind of let me again cut that and kind of go this way. So that, again, I don't really want to cover up a lot of this basic gray paper, but because I love it so much. Let me go with, don't like that there. I don't like that there. It's actually too big. Let me go with a smaller flower here. That kind of matches the flowers that are in the window boxes there. Okay, that's good to me. I'm going to go with the teal butterfly. Again, I'm going to call it a wintertime butterfly. I want something down here to balance that. I'm actually thinking of cutting this at an angle so that I can staple it. Well, I can actually mount it underneath, and then I'll staple the other one. So let me do that. I'll peel this off, and I haven't decided yet whether I want to staple it under that piece of paper or whether I want to adhere it under the piece of paper. I don't want to hide it all, but okay, that's acceptable to me, and I can snip this off camera, because if I did it now, I'd probably really mess it up. And then I can, actually I can fold it back. That's good. That's helpful. This is really wonderful. I haven't ever seen that in any line since then. This says, when I'm covering up here, it says, bundle up, it's cold outside. Now I've got this other strip here that says bundle up, it's cold outside, and I can actually overlap that and kind of, that would be good because I have no reason to have skates there. Let me, I want that word to show, so I may adhere this the same way instead of stapling it. I may add a staple later, but as I recall, I discovered in my last video that my stapler may be out of staples, and I don't think I've filled it back up. So we're gonna go with the actual adhering it this way, and I'll kind of overlap it like that so that I can read this, and the stripes are showing, and I may do some kind of a cluster over here, maybe another butterfly. There's a nice butterfly. Yes, I like that a lot. It's got a dark, whereas these other butterflies have the detail done in gold. This one has the detail done in a really dark gray or black color. So that kind of looks nice with the black trim on the film strip. Okay, so I've got those things there. Do I need another house here? And if so, what color do I want? That's too close to that pink. I think I have this nice dark green, but not all of it will fit. I think I'm just gonna leave it as it is. This one's kind of cute. I'm just gonna leave it as is. My title on this is going to be the word Snuggle, and I have one in a thicker set somewhere in my winter supplies or Christmas supplies, and I have to hunt for those, so I'll add that and publish the whole completed layout later. But this is as far as I'm going to go here. Enjoy the Mercy Tiara Challenge wherever it takes you, and accept it. Bye.